This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 17th. No other day like it, and we're certainly glad you had a chance to tune in. We have a lot to cover on our show today. It's been a very eventful couple of weeks in the market, as you know. In the opening dialogue there, you heard Dan Aykroyd in that famous film Trading Places talk about kill or get killed in the market and the volatility in the market, and we sure saw that these past couple of weeks. And essentially what we experienced was another one of these flash crashes, and the market seems to be pulling itself up by its bootstraps and rallying back toward the highs. So we'll see how long this current rally lasts, but my gut feeling was it just was another one of those flash crash events. Somebody perhaps had a fat finger, hit the sell button, triggered a lot of selling programs. Some blame the volatility index, the VIX. There were some hedges going on there with regard to some hedge fund plays, but we've seen this before. The economy is strong. The market is still, in my opinion, in a bull market, and we needed a correction. So we'll adjust our thinking accordingly, but that's sort of my impression of what really has happened here. So, we'll deal with it day to day. We have a lot of special guests on the show today, as we always try to do. Sinclair No will be joining us later in the program. Henry Weingarten will be joining us, Don VIALOUX. But I want to jump to my first and very special guest, Bill KOENIG. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Bill.
Yeah, that's right, Mark.
Hey, right, and I always used to say KOENIG until you corrected me. Bill KOENIG has joined us from Watch.org. He's a regular guest on our show. We're good friends, and I admire his work. Bill has been publishing KOENIG's Watch since the mid-1990s. He moved his organization to Washington in 2001 and became a White House correspondent. I religiously read his, no pun intended, his Friday Watch.org reports and covering both events in Washington, Israel, and around the world. But most famously, Bill wrote the book back in 2004 entitled Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel. And this really caught my attention. Very provocative book talking about anything that's planned or done to divide Israel has natural repercussions from nature and God. So we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. We've talked about that on previous broadcasts as well. It's something that's a little far out there for most people to accept, but got to keep your ears and eyes open. What I've learned in Wall Street and the stock market, the unexpected or the unexplained can become reality very quickly. Bill, thank you for joining us. Thanks, Mark. Great to be with you. All right, we have so many things to cover. Any updates? Let's jump right into Eye to Eye since our last conversation. Any updates there in terms of what's happened since the most recent publication? I know we've had a lot of disasters around the country, the fires in California, flooding, all kinds of interesting things. What's going on?
Well, Mark, as we talked about on your last program, last time I was with you, we had three major record-setting hurricanes during the Jewish month of Elul, which is very interesting. It was a 30-day period of time in August and September where we had Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Marie. We've never had 2 Category 4s in a year. We had 3 that last year. All ironically, when I say ironic, I mean it just over and over again when we were calling on Israel to give up their land that God gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have these enormous catastrophes the same day or within 24 hours. And once again, that's exactly what was taking place during that period of those 3 major record-setting hurricanes. There was a lot of emphasis by the Trump administration on a peace deal. The Trump administration is a great friend of Israel, but again, that land is not to be divided or given up for promises of peace and security. And matter of fact, the day, Elul 29, which was September 20th, the day that Hurricane Marie hit Puerto Rico, is the day that Trump was meeting with King Abdullah of Jordan, President Sisi of Egypt, and Abbas, the Palestinian President Abbas, at the UN on dividing the land of Israel. And one other quick note here, Mike Pence was there a couple weeks ago, made a powerful speech to the Knesset. We probably have never had a speech quite like that as a Christian who has a great love for the state of Israel. Pence's speech was one for the records. I mean, it was just phenomenal. It just was so impactful. And then the next day, he's sitting with the president of Israel, President Rivlin, and Mike Pence once again said that the Trump administration is committed to a peace plan, which means the dividing of Judea and Samaria and part of possibly Jerusalem. And within 25 minutes, there was a 7.9 earthquake in the Gulf of Alaska, which produced this massive tsunami warning. Everybody across America was waking up to tsunami warnings for our Pacific Northwest all the way down to South America. So that literally, Mark, that was within 25 minutes of committing the Trump administration to moving forward with the peace process.
Wow. Unbelievable. In fact, I was on the West Coast myself heading up to Vancouver when that happened, so I was very much aware of that story. I didn't know the connection between Pence and Abbas.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Pence and Rivlin, I mean, here's the president of Israel, and he is literally committing the Trump administration at the president of Israel's home that they were committed to a peace plan and then moving forward with a peace process. And literally, Mark, 7.9 the Gulf of Alaska within 25 minutes of him making that statement. Again, even though you're a friend of Israel, no one has the earthly right to divide that land that God gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants. So that's what I write about. And one quick note here. My book, Eye to Eye, is updated through Hurricane Harvey of late August 2017. So it has 127 events such as this, major record-setting events.
Well, we're not done talking about the book, but it is available on Amazon, correct?
Correct, and also through our website, which is watch.org. It's WATCH.org, so either place.
It's amazing that despite all these events and the obvious position of the Palestinians, that we still keep talking about a settlement with Palestine and possibly dividing Israel up and creating 2 states. I don't think anyone really gets it. You know, that's really where we're at.
Absolutely. What has happened is, I think once President Trump made the declaration that Jerusalem is the capital of the state of Israel and that the United States was moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, he took a lot of heat around the world, but even the U.S. State Department, which tends to be very pro-Arab, said that this would be catastrophic, and 90 to 95% of people, State Department said this will spawn war, this will be a catalyst to more war, this will be the worst possible thing. None of that happened. And it also showed the true colors of Abbas, the way he's handled this, despite the fact he's been no over the years. I mean, the guy's not serious about peace. Otherwise, he would have accepted these very generous offers. The problem with Abbas, he'll never get what he turned down years ago, and that really infuriated him, and has led to some other tensions in the region, which obviously is Israel's great concern right now, Mark, as you know, dealing with the threat of Iran inside of Syria and the impact that can have in the future.
Don't touch your dial, folks. We're going to be back right after the break with more from Bill Koenig and Watch.org.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Every industry faces distinguishing challenges and circumstances that shape the business and financial landscape. Camuso CPA LLC delivers unrivaled depth of knowledge and an engaging experience relevant to each client's industry-specific needs. Camuso offers preemptive guidance and knowledge required to achieve your greatest business and personal financial potential. Our approach is based on forging long-term business relationships accompanied by trust and value, creating an ever-important partnership. Build your dedicated financial team with us today. Visit CamusoCPA.com. That's CamusoCPA.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
You don't follow the herd. You blaze your own trail. And you're as adventurous in the kitchen as you are in life. Whether it's paddleboard yoga or Peruvian steak, you're the first to try new things. So are we. We're Green Chef, the first USDA-certified organic meal kit delivery service. We offer delicious meal plans for 7 different lifestyles: paleo, gluten-free, keto, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, and omnivore. Want to be the first of your friends to try Green Chef? Discover our exclusive introductory deal by texting the keyword FUN66 to 543543. We believe that cooking, just like life, should be all about experience and flavor. And by exploring dinner options with Green Chef, you'll try new recipes, techniques, and ingredients for bold, new restaurant-level flavors. It's like enjoying a new cooking class, but in your own home. To experience this culinary adventure, text now and discover our exclusive introductory deal. Text FUN66 to 543543. That's FUN66 to 543543.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise at gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 17th. And we had an exciting first segment here with our good friend Bill Koenig from Watch.org. And Bill, we ran out of time in the first segment, but thank you for staying with us for a few more minutes.
You bet, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Watch.org. You've got some interesting headlines coming out here in the edition that comes out this evening. Let's talk about that historical date of infamy that you headline. That sounds really interesting.
Well, what happens, it seems like throughout history, there's some significance about the April 19th, April 20th dates. We've had major wars that have started in the United States on those dates. Muhammad was born on April 20th, who was obviously a threat to the state of Israel and the Jewish people before Israel was a state, but to the Jewish people. And then Hitler was born on April 20th. There's just a lot of things that have happened around that date, and we document that. And also, it's since 2006, the major news in April every year since 2006 has been Iran. And obviously with what's taking place with Iran right now and Syria and the threats that they are to Israel, I think once again, this time period of April 19th and 20th, I mean, that was the timing of the Gulf BP petroleum oil spill, the giant oil spill, the day that it came out that the Obama administration was going to no longer automatically vote with Israel to the UN Security Council. So that's what I write about. And also, there's a lot of emphasis in my news report this week about the Iranian threat. You know this, Mark. I mean, Israel's the size of New Jersey, and they can't take they seriously can take one or two hits and they're finished as a country. And they have this huge country called Iran with many people. Matter of fact, many of those people are very favorable to Israel. It's just the leadership of Iran that is not. And Israel is going to plan to take care of this threat. They know it's coming. They know it's continuing. And that when they hear these threats from the Iranian government about this elimination of the Zionist state, they hear that loud and clear, and they're going to make a plan that one day will devastate Iran according to the scriptures, which Jeremiah 49:35 through 39 speaks of. And one other quick note, Isaiah 17:1 in the Old Testament speaks to the day that Damascus will no longer exist as a city. And that a lot of the recent hits on Iranian facilities in Syria have been around the city of Damascus.
All this is happening around Israel's 70th anniversary celebration as well, right?
That's exactly right. The big celebration there on the Hebrew calendar will be April 18th, 19th, and 20th. So that will be a big time in Israel because that will be their official 70th year celebration. They became a state in May 14, 1948, but on the Hebrew calendar it puts it the 70th anniversary right at that time.
Yeah, just this past week we had that event in northern Israel, which you're writing and says it could be the beginning of a war.
No doubt about it. And I think this is pretty accurate. The defense minister of Israel, Lieberman, said this week, we are already at war with Iran. And, really, Mark, that is true. They have been for a while. It continues to ratchet up. They're sending this Iranian drone into Israel's airspace was a test on just how capable Israel's security is, and they took that drone right out. And also Israel took out quite a bit of the missile defense system that Syria had in place that they purchased from Russia. So Israel just has to take this stuff serious. They just are in a real precarious position right now. Iranians are very smart. They're strategic. They're master chess players. And they also have their agenda. So, none of this is a surprise, Mark. It's right there in the Bible. We're living in the days that it's spoken of in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament. For me as a Christian, it spells it out, and we're living in those days.
Being a correspondent at the White House, you sometimes glean some interesting stories, one of which you highlight here. We only have about a minute or so. Apparently some Jewish groups are calling on the White House to fire advisor Stephen Miller. What happened there?
Well, Stephen Miller's Jewish, and I think what's happened is they're uncomfortable with Stephen Miller's strong position on immigration. They think he needs to be a little bit, he's the hardliner in the administration. This is what they're uncomfortable with, and that's what they're calling for. Mm-hmm. And this obviously, as you know, Mark, immigration, especially being there in Arizona, having grown up out there, immigration is a huge thing for Arizona, California, Texas, and there's a lot of hardworking Hispanics out that way. And there just needs to be something that deals with the illegality of this It's going to be a very contentious issue going forward this week. President Trump wasn't able to get his immigration plan through, and it's just a mess, as it has been. But remember, back in 1988, Ronald Reagan passed an immigration, or Congress was able to pass an immigration plan then, and it never happened. So obviously this continues to be a very divisive issue for America, and that's pretty much what happened here with Steve Miller.
Bill, I want to really thank you for being on the program, and I want to remind our listeners that if they want to get a copy of Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel, they can go to your website, watch.org, and you can also sign up and subscribe to Bill's really great weekly reports, which cover just about all the subjects that we're talking about, particularly the issue at Eye to Eye and all the events that could affect our weather.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beyond a coincidence. The law of probability makes this a very, very significant.
Well, I'm a believer, and I want everybody, if they have a chance to read this book and see the documentation there, and maybe there'll be more coming in the future, and we hope to do a little bit more with that subject. Bill, again, thank you so much for taking a few moments here on a Saturday morning, and we'll have you back real soon with an update. Bill Koenig from watch.org.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, thank you, Bill. And as I told you, we do have a couple other guests in the wing coming up here in our next segment. We have our good friend Henry Weingarten and our good friend Don Vallot joining us. And, of course, SINCLAIR will be joining us here later in the program. A lot to cover here with what's going on in the markets this past couple of weeks. A lot of fear that perhaps the rally we are now experiencing off the big washout lows is nothing more than a dead cat bounce, and we're going to go back down again. Bill just brought up the point about mid-April, perhaps creating some volatility in the market, as wars tend to break out around that time. Mid-March often has a periodicity of seeing a market volatility. I remember big market lows around mid-March over several years. So anything could happen here in the next couple of months, and if you're a long-term investor, none of this is probably really that relevant, but if you're close to the markets as we are, these are very important dates and times to keep in mind. We're also watching the U.S. dollar very carefully, but there's also a lot of concern about what's going to happen with the gold market if the dollar does resume its uptrend. But I'm more of the view that, dollar and gold could go together, so I'm not really tying these two markets together, though the market may initially do so. So we're watching gold, which I still think still has room to the upside. Again, don't touch your dial. We'll be back after our break with Henry Weingarten and Don Vallot.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside of our borders. At Miles Franklin Limited, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin Limited is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box system in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals, or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage partnered with the most respected name in security. That's Miles Franklin Limited. Celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-503-8625. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-503-8625. That's 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
This Saturday, 17th of February, and hope you had a chance to hear Bill Koenig's great comments, eye-to-eye consequences of dividing Israel, and his political comments, being a White House correspondent and putting out that great Watch.org report every week. It's really very important stuff, very provocative, and I'm a very loyal reader and follower of his comments and his work. Well, we have our good friend Don VIALOUX with us again this morning, this Saturday morning. Don, great friend, author of 2 great blogs, which I follow just as religiously as Bill Koenig's, timingthemarket.ca and equityclock.com. Don was a past president of the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts, and he was also the advisor to the Horizon Seasonal Rotation ETF between 2009 and 2015. Don, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks for having me back, Mark.
Well, we can't say we haven't had some volatility in the markets here in the last couple of weeks. Lots of changes in equity markets since your last comment, the 27th. Let's bring us up to speed.
Boy, have we ever. Now, Canadian U.S. equity indices experienced a well-deserved intermediate correction exceeding 10%. Now, U.S. equity indices recovered about half of that correction last week, so a nice little bounce by U.S. equity indices from about their 200-day moving average.
As far as new sectors and industries, some have surfaced as top performers despite this, correct?
Yeah, new sectors and industries have surfaced as top performers, most notably commodities and commodity-sensitive equities and ETFs. Now, strength is related to weakness in the U.S. dollar index and rising demand for commodities, most notably from China. In addition, 'tis the season for commodity prices to move higher to at least the end of April. Now, during the past week, zinc prices have reached a 5-year high, nickel prices broke to a 3-year high, and lumber prices broke to an all-time high. And strongest of all have been the grains. The grain ETN, that's symbol is JJG, has advanced 9% during the last 5 weeks.
Wow, and we saw gold come back to life and silver, not as dramatically, though, but we had a nice pop there as well. And copper also on the move, too.
Yes, they all seem to be in gear for this time of year.
So notable among commodity-sensitive equities are breaking to multi-year highs last week, included the base metals, as I just mentioned, and some stocks, too, right?
It's been amazing. You had base metal stocks like First Quantum, Southern Copper, Rio Tinto, and Valley break to multi-year highs. Now, look for these base metal stocks to continue to move higher during their current period of seasonal strength right through until the end of April. Now, ETFs that track the sector include BMO's base metal ETF, symbol ZMT on the Toronto Exchange. And if you're an American investor, there's 2 ETFs which are available. There's a Copper Miners ETF, the symbol is COPX, and the iShares Global Metals ETF, which symbol is PICK.
Okay, let me repeat those. So the BMO Base Metals ETF is ZMT on the TSX, and the Copper Miners ETF, COPX, and the iShares Global Market ETF, PICK, on the U.S. market.
Yes, that's correct.
So I don't want to put you on the spot here, Don, but you've been following the market for decades. Was this a flash crash we just experienced, or the warning of something else coming later in the year? What's your gut feeling?
Well, it's interesting because the strongest period of seasonal strength for U.S. and Canadian equity markets is from the end of February until the first week in May. So we're just about to enter that period of seasonal strength as we speak. So, yes, looks like it was a flash crash, and there will be some opportunities for markets to move significantly higher over the next 2.5 months.
Great, Don. Thank you for your comments. Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca, and we look forward to it on the show again next week. Have a great weekend, Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, Henry Weingarten's waiting for us, and we always are anxious to hear Henry's comments. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund at afund.com, and back from Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago. Welcome back, Henry.
Hi. Well, been sort of quiet markets.
Not eventful, right?
Wait. We'll be in the trading range in February, and we are about 24,000 to 2,000. So, not a big deal. The one surprise for us is we thought the market would go down, but we really we thought we'd see more a little bit later in the year. But computers do exaggerate things, but effectively it's not a big deal. There's this leg coming up. I agree with the speaker there, and then now we'll just hang around.
Henry, your phone's breaking up a little bit. I don't know.
Can you hear me better here now?
Yeah, a little bit better. You're breaking up, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, but basically, the markets are range bound. We're glad to see gold moving up. And it's obvious that inflation is going to come up in the markets, which they are. So that's going to become a factor. And the bonds are going to be hitting the 3% very soon, on its way perhaps to 3.20 later in the year. So basically, there should be no surprises here.
So was it a flash crash in your opinion, and then now we're just going to continue to move higher, or is this a warning of something? Again, I asked the same question of Don a few moments ago. What's your gut feeling?
The answer is yes to both. We saw February as a range-bound market, below 24,000 to just above 26. We do have another correction coming in a small one in February, actually in March or April. But in general, the economy is good in the United States. You have record consumer confidence, biggest in 14 years, and that's going to keep things up. And Trump's under very good aspects. So, generally speaking, there's an upward move, but you have a very expensive market, and people are selling, which makes sense. There's a lot of money flows out of the market, which I think is very healthy, because, you know, when you're talking 26,000 Dow or 2,800 on the S&P, that's expensive. Now, over time, it won't be expensive, but for this point in time, it's expensive.
So your overall viewpoint is 2018 is still a positive year. You weren't looking for any problems until when, 2019 or later?
2019 or 2021.
So beginning 2019 we start watching?
We don't give out that information in advance. What you need to know now is you don't have to worry yet.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm not worried. So gold, let's back up a second. You did touch on gold briefly here. Gold still has to clear that summer 2016 high of that 1372 to break it out. Is that coming soon in your opinion?
Well, we thought by the Chinese New Year, which was yesterday, that we would be at fair value, which was 1388. We came close. We're within 2% of the target. So it's clear that inflation's coming. You know, not dramatic inflation, but the government's recognizing inflation. So it should get out there. Now, whether it will or not in this cycle, you know, the Chinese New Year and this is a good positive time for another couple of weeks. Whether people will sell it, I think it's stupid. People may do it. But we certainly should be a little higher. But
Henry?
So watch which companies you're dealing with.
Henry, thank you for joining us. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. If you want more information, go to afund.com, and Henry will be back with us next week. Thank you for joining us, Henry.
My pleasure.
Don't touch your dial, folks. We'll be back after the break with Sinclair No.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Every industry faces distinguishing challenges and circumstances that shape the business and financial landscape. Camuso CPA LLC delivers unrivaled depth of knowledge and an engaging experience relevant to each client's industry-specific needs. Camuso offers preemptive guidance and knowledge required to achieve your greatest business and personal financial potential. Our approach is based on forging long-term business relationships accompanied by trust and value, creating an ever-important partnership. Build your dedicated financial team with us today. Visit CamusoCPA.com. That's CamusoCPA.com.
1 out of 4 people listening to my voice right now could die from heart disease. This could be your last year, and you don't even know it because you don't know the early warning signs. If you think you're safe because your cholesterol levels are normal, think again, because studies show that 75% of heart attack patients also had normal cholesterol levels. Let me introduce you to Strauss Heart Drops, a world-famous heart and brain formula made in Canada. It's time-tested and will give you clinical results in 90 days or your money back. Learn more at scienceofheartdisease.com. They are shipping free this month.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
The answer to being in control of your own health care is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatment may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, the 17th of February, and it's always a pleasure having my good friend Sinclair No join us on the show. Sinclair No is the author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com and also a financial commentator for a couple decades at KFNN 1510 Phoenix. Good morning, Sinclair. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Mark. Always a pleasure.
Well, we experienced one of the most volatile periods in stock market history, not on a percentage basis, but on a point basis here the last couple of weeks. And I did send you a copy of my forecast model, which still portrays 2018 as overall a bullish year. So my gut feeling, for what it's worth, is that we experienced nothing more than a flash crash, as we saw back in 2010. Any comments or feelings about that?
I don't think of it as a flash crash. I think this is an actual test that we're seeing going on here.
Okay.
And I think that there's a strong chance, because now it was a very rapid test. We went down very fast. We came back up very fast. I don't think that necessarily qualifies as a flash crash, even though there was program trading involved in it. And so I can see how you can make the argument for it. But I think that this is the market trying to test where valuations really should be. And I don't think that we've quite figured it out yet. You don't have the reassurance that you would typically have at this point that we have reached a bottom. Now, we could just as easily carry on from here, and it could be nothing more than, for example, what we saw when Brexit took place. That was a quick little hit. The market rebounded, and then forgot about it. But I think that this is going to be an issue moving forward, and that we may at some point retest those lows that we saw earlier in the month.
Some have argued that this was a manipulation. In fact, there was an article, I think you had brought this to your readers' attention, that a new whistleblower complaint says the VIX was rigged, and according to an anonymous letter sent to the SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, it makes the claim that regulators that fake quotes for the S&P index are skewing the levels of the VIX. What do you say about that one?
I'm shocked.
that would even happen.
Imagine, my goodness. Well, we don't know where this whistleblower complaint is coming from. That's probably number one.
Okay.
So you got to take something like that with a little bit of a grain of salt. Whoever the whistleblower is, they have an attorney. The attorney presented the information to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission.
basically saying that the volatility index, or the VIX, which is a reflection of bearish and bullish option bets 30 days in the future on the S&P 500. We sometimes refer to it as the fear and greed gauge. Well, this says that the flaw is basically that by putting in a bid, they're able to manipulate the VIX, even if that bid does not result in an actual purchase or sale. Okay, so here we are, and they're basically playing around with the VIX, and the VIX is a traded derivative, if you will. Mm-hmm. There are various ways to play it, and it then changes the way that people approach the S&P 500 as well. Where this goes, I don't know. We'll see. This is not the first time that we've heard about something like this. There have been some papers written about this, some research done on this. There are a couple of professors who wrote a research paper on this about a year ago, talking about the cost of manipulating less liquid S&P 500 options. Is it possible? Sure. Sure,
so
I'm shocked.
It wouldn't just be a fat finger. It could have been something a little bit more diabolical. We just don't know that at this moment. So,
you get to then guide where the future VIX options are going to be. You get to guide where the S&P options are going to be by putting in essentially spoof bids, spoof trades.
Right. Traders watch that all day long. Well, federal regulators is jumping over to our friendly banks, and banks behaving badly apparently hit U.S. Bancorp, which is the nation's biggest regional bank with more than $800 million in fines. Banks just don't give up, do they?
They don't. This is just crazy. Justice Department. Now this will shock you. They announced a deferred prosecution with U.S. Bancorp. So if they behave and do everything right, there won't be any prosecution on this in the future.
This has been the pattern for decades. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're on probation. You're on permanent probation. You're never going to be prosecuted if you're a bank. That's the way it works, basically. Essentially what they're saying, though, is that there are alerts in place to catch possible money laundering activities. And what U.S. Bancorp did was that they capped the number of alerts in their automated transaction monitoring system so that it wouldn't go over any certain number. So once they reached a number of alerts on the automatic monitoring system, well, that was it. No more.
Huh.
So it looked like they didn't have a money laundering problem when, in fact, they may have. They just turned off, it's like you got a smoke alarm, right? And after it beeps a couple of times, you just turn it off. You take the batteries out. Well, that doesn't do you a lot of good moving forward if there's an actual fire. And that's essentially what U.S. Bancorp did. They took the batteries out of the smoke alarm and said, nope, we don't have a problem with fire. We don't have a problem with smoke. See, the alarm's not going off.
We got to worry a little bit here because the banks, besides what they normally do, and we know the Wells Fargo story, we read this past week that Bank of America filed more cryptocurrency patents than the other company. So what's going on there? And also we heard that Charlie Munger over at Berkshire Hathaway, he unleashed the cops on Bitcoin. He made a statement that Bitcoin is disgusting, detestable, and a noxious poison. We got a lot of conflicting views. We got Bank of America trying to pick up as much cryptocurrency patents, and we got Charlie Munger and perhaps Warren Buffett telling us how much they don't like Bitcoin or anything like it. It's really.
I want to know how Charlie really feels about Bitcoin.
Okay.
What does he really think? He came out hard against it, no question about it. And yes, we are seeing a lot of these Bitcoin cryptocurrency patents starting to pile up. And among some of the patents, we've got names like Bank of America. Then not really a surprise that they would be trying to get into the idea of blockchain technology. Some some extra ways to perhaps safeguard the financial transaction process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is probably what we're going to see moving forward, is the technology will become more important. However, I'm not sure that the actual bitcoins are going to become more important.
Right.
Bitcoin as we have it right now is a fairly flawed system. It uses way too much energy. It is susceptible to hacks. It is susceptible to counterfeiting. There are some real flaws with Bitcoin as we know it today, and there's a good chance Bitcoin as we know it today could continue to take these hits. Regulators are concerned about it as well. But then the question is, what about the technology behind it? Well, some of the technology behind it still needs to be refined, but I think at some point it's going to become more and more accepted and brought into the existing financial system as we know it, and we'll see financial institutions start to become more and more involved. So I'm not at all surprised that Bank of America is getting into this, as well as many, many others, including the Chinese.
Sinclair, thank you again for joining us. Sinclair now from KFNN 1510 Phoenix, north of the great blog, eatthebankers.com. And folks, as we always say, as Ed Hart used to say, we will know in the fullness of time.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.